All right, you're about to watch a full week of eating. I know you probably saw the timestamp and were thinking, what the heck? A couple of hours of a full week of eating. And the reason for that is this is not just going to be a bunch of recipes broken down or some perfectly curated health freak type diet where we prepped everything in advance and planned every single meal in advance and we're like, we're going to show the best meals. No, we're taking you into our real lives here and how I actually think through and operate in being able to, have maintained 30 plus pounds of fat loss over the last 5+ years, as a husband, as a dad, as a busy business owner. So real life is that, sometimes things aren't perfectly prepped. And real life is that sometimes you just really freaking want ice cream. Real life is that sometimes your nanny brings over some fresh baked sourdough, as a gift. And, real life is that sometimes you plan for date night and you've got this plan and then things change last minute. So I'm going to be bringing you into that actual thought process. So the goal here isn't that you walk away with a bunch of recipes noted down. The goal is that you have some inspiration, of course, for stuff like that. But more importantly, that you glean from the decision-making process for how I steward my body over the course of a week. So sit back, enjoy. This is one that maybe you'll watch in one shot, totally fine, or one that you can come back to. And I'll have chapter titles with different labels for the meals, so feel free to use that. Feel free to send this to your wife or to your husband if you're a woman watching this for some inspiration. Without further ado, enjoy the video. And if you like stuff like this, feel free to like, subscribe, comment below, and I appreciate you being here. It is 4:44 a.m. and the first meal that we're eating is my pre-workout meal. I am about to go lift, and before I lift, I like to have quick digestion carbs and make sure I'm hydrated. So we have 3 rice cakes. On top of the rice cakes is 1 serving of PB Fit, which is powdered peanut butter. The beauty of PB Fit is it's about half the calories and double the protein per serving as normal peanut butter. Peanut butter is notoriously one of the worst calorie to protein ratio foods you could possibly have. But it tastes amazing, and I love peanut butter. So we go with powdered peanut butter. In the powdered peanut butter, I also mixed cinnamon, and I also mixed brown sugar, 1 serving of brown sugar. I know that also might sound insane, but I'm going for quick digestion carbs. I track all of this in my fitness pal, and I make sure it hits my goals for the day. So this meal right here, let's see, 3 rice cakes plus the PB Fit plus the brown sugar comes out to 280 calories for 52 carbs. Honestly, when I see that number, although I advise most people to generally keep their first meal calorie count relatively low because most people overeat throughout the rest of the day, I don't really have that issue at this point. I'm really controlled with my meals towards the end of the day. So I'd like to give myself the liberty of having more carbs before my workout, and I'm not too afraid of that first meal being higher calorie because I'm adding more carbs. So I'm thinking through, okay, only 52 grams of carbs. I'd like to have closer to 75 to 100 before my workout, especially when it's this early in the morning. How can I add some carbs quickly, easily, and also in a way that tastes pretty good too? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a banana, and to be able to track this, it's pretty simple. Put the banana on the scale, zero it out, open the banana up. And again, the point of this is I want more carbs right before my workout relatively quickly and in a tasty way as well. Taste matters. And there's faster ways you can do this technically, but they're tasty or less effective. So, right, you can dial either of those up and down depending on the situation. I'm in a place in my current deficit where I'm the leanest I've ever been, really. I'm weighing about 170 to 171 pounds right now, 5'10", with the most muscle I've ever had. I just contextually, to see if you can gauge that, I pressed the 100-pound dumbbells on an incline for 9 reps recently. And that was a lifetime PR. That felt great. And then a trap bar deadlifted 415 for 3 sets of 3 recently. So that was pretty good. Also trained jiu-jitsu. The reason I bring that up is because when you're in
the phase where you're the lightest or leanest you've been in a while or ever, enjoyment actually starts to matter more. When you're starting out your weight loss and you're just getting a grip of things, you're just trying to figure out, like, how do I hit my numbers the right way, my calories and protein the right way? And how do I do that in a way that's time efficient and in a way that supports my goals, of course. As you get leaner, enjoyment starts to matter more because you're eating less calories and you're in a greater deficit. Your hunger signaling, not your cravings, but your hunger signaling is going to increase. This is cinnamon, by the way. I just sprinkled this right on top. And so enjoyment starts to matter way, way more. You can obviously play with enjoyment at any point. And there are days where you're just going to go for speed, no matter where you're at. But this is a really enjoyable meal. Psychologically, it's going to make it easier to stay on track. So here's what we have to do now. Put the banana peel back on. We see that we have 91 grams of banana. That gave us 20 extra carbs. We're at 73 grams of carbs, so I'm cool with that. Now you guys will notice that 73 grams of carbs, 369 calories. You can get that from one Starbucks milkshake. You can get that from a Pop-Tart and a half. But this amount of volume, this sheer amount of food that's going to take up this space in my stomach is going to be found more in something like some rice cakes with some stuff on them. And remember, I literally added sugar to these rice cakes to taste for sweetness because I love sweetness. And this is going to be really sweet. Also, I've got a Bloom energy drink, 10 calories, 80 milligrams of protein, plus a bunch of other good stuff in there. I've got water, plus electrolytes, just 1 scoop. Most people think they need 10 packets of electrolytes a day, but you really don't. 1 is probably fine for most people. Yeah, this is my first meal, pre-workout meal. My breakfast would definitely look different if I weren't working out at 4:50 something a.m.
Okay, so next meal is super simple and one of the fastest things you could possibly make. It's a protein shake, and it's going to be 8 ounces of Fairlife, 2% milk, which is high protein, low calorie milk, and sometimes, yes, real life, you got to make it with the baby in your hand. There's that one off. All right, this is the real challenge. This is real peak athleticism comes in. Can you trap the hand so that she doesn't grab your mic while opening the chocolate milk without it spilling, without her touching it? That was honestly black belt level baby control right there. All right, we have 8 ounces. It's 13 grams of protein per 8 ounces, and it tastes amazing. 140 calories. There is absolutely zero reason in the history of the world for you to use whole milk if your goal is to get lean, lose fat, and build muscle. I'm going to put 10 grams of creatine in there. Oh, I shouldn't do that because this got stuck last time. There we go. Yep, that's right, Bella. Let's see if this baby control can continue. Yes, whey protein. She loves it. I've 100% given her this shake, tastes of it. She likes it, so that qualifies. Okay, 1 scoop away. And now we've got a total of 260 calories to be exact, with 25 plus 13, with 38 grams of protein. And that's that. Super easy to make. Can be made with one hand in a few minutes. Extremely filling, and starts working towards that protein goal. 10 grams of creatine, for anybody wondering. The data is clear on 5 grams a day. It's becoming more clear on more than that. I'm experimenting with it. I haven't decided if I'm a 10 gram a day, but everybody should be taking creatine at some point. Shake that up. And you don't need to make these complicated, crazy protein shakes. I've unfortunately seen so many guys who think they have to have the banana, the oats, and a million different things in the protein shake. You really don't. Now the skill is, can I drink the protein shake with a baby in hand without spilling any chocolate on my white shirt? That is the real skill. Let's be real, guys. That's it. It's done. This is a real hack. And that's what I like to do a lot of times for breakfast. You could technically go higher volume, you could go more filling, but That's really more so of a speed optimized breakfast. Going for speed on that one. So see that. All right, so this is third meal a day, and I'm about to show you guys something awesome. These are my salad wraps, and the way these work is the big hitter ingredients is you're going to get one of these low calorie tortillas that are like half the calories and probably close to double the protein of a normal tortilla, and the taste is almost identical. You're going to get your lean meat. I've got top sirloin steak, 5 ounces of that here. And then you're going to make a huge salad of whatever you like and make it taste good. I've got low-fat Parmesan cheese in there. I've got cilantro. I've got a whole tomato in there. I've got lettuce. I've got onion. I put a ton of Italian seasoning in there. And you can make this, again, however you want. This salad is going to be extremely low calorie, fill you up a ton. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put meat here on this wrap, at least some of it. And I don't want to fill it up too much because then the wrap's just uneatable. And then I'll also put this awesome salad on the wrap. It's got cheese, it's got avocado, and that looks like it's going to fill the wrap. And then you can just eat the salad as is, if you like, or just throw the extra meat in that salad. Now you've got a nice, awesome steak salad. Get rid of some of this steak water. What's up, babe girl? I hope you're not pooping right now. So this is what the meal looks like. Let's see if we can make it somewhat presentable for you guys. I've even got olive oil and balsamic vinaigrette in the salad. I don't do that every single day because it can get high calorie, but I just measured it. So I put the bowl on the scale, and when I pour the olive oil, I just measure it. 2 milliliters of olive oil, 4 milliliters balsamic vinaigrette, so I can track it. I know exactly what it is instead of just dousing it on there or saying, oh no, I can't have it, it's too high calorie. And guys, this meal is calories, 64 grams of protein. This one I would say is optimized for fullness. This isn't the tastiest possible thing that I can make, and it's not the fastest possible thing I can make. So if you remember in the beginning, we talked about those 3 kind of dials you can play with. You can play with taste, you can play with speed, and you can play with kind of fullness / nutrient density and volume. This one is a ton of food, just an insane amount of food here for 590 calories. Tastes really good, especially once you resensitize your receptors to actually enjoy healthy food. And it's 590 calories, 64 grams of protein. So optimizing for the fullness takes a little bit longer than some meals that you can make, but well worth it. And when I'm making these meals that take a little bit longer, I just kind of plan the break intentionally and hang out with the baby for a bit, and kind of gives me some little bit of a intentional father-daughter time. Hi, Billy, beautiful girl, in the middle of the workday while making an amazing meal. So I'm gonna eat this. See you in the next one. What's up, love? You ready to go? Okay. So I was about to start filming my dinner, and I come home, when I come downstairs, I see my wife eating this diabolically large taco.
I got back from the gym. I was just like, I'm hungry. I can't wait. I need to eat something and get my macros in. So I have 98.2 lean ground chicken, and then 2 tortilla shells that are carb counter ones. So they're 90 calories each, 2 of them, and then 150 grams of the chicken. Added some lean cheese, taco seasoning.
I don't understand. This is very similar to the last meal you guys saw, where this is another thing I want to talk to you guys about, but she's maximizing volume. Obviously, this is an insane amount of food. I don't even know what's going on there. Anyways, one of the things I just spoke with my clients with on a group coaching call was that God's design for everything, including your physical stewardship, is that it becomes perpetually more enjoyable over time. That requires periods of discipline, moments of discipline, understanding of why you're doing what you're doing, so that you have a perception of future perceived reward, which is what creates enjoyment in the first place. And skill acquisition. You need to know how to make it taste good. Are you going to put a bunch of veggies in that?
Let it. And I was just really hungry.
That looked really plain, to be honest, but it's fine.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. I'm going to make burgers. The point I'm making here is it becomes perpetually more enjoyable over time as you acquire skill, as you have increased evidence for the payoff of what you're doing, it becomes more fun. So that's a hilariously large taco. What I'm going to be doing today is a burger. And the difficulty here, these are two, let me just, to measure accurately, these are two, you can, yeah, I guess you can talk about your meal if you want, or your eating stuff if you want. I'm going to have an editor cut this up.
Sure. So I just broiled the tortilla shells to make them kind of like a broil on low in the oven. On point.
I think one of the reasons I wanted to film this was so people would really see like how we eat. And we are...
I thought you were about to say so people could see how artistically silly we are.
No, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was so professional in the first 2 meals, but that's like a reflection of real life. I'm like serious, and then I get around you. I don't know if any of you guys have relationships with your wife like this that are just literally the first 2 meals are like, this is why I'm eating this. Eat it. Good luck. And now you're dropping things like that.
I'm eating this because it's important to have lean cuts of fat meat because I'd rather eat other things, and carbs and proteins post-workout are great for recovery. I'm gonna go eat over here.
Yeah, you are wild. I don't know if you're allowed in these videos anymore. Okay, bye. She'll be in here. Don't worry, guys. You're going to see a lot more of her. She might take over the video, to be honest. Okay, what I'm doing is measuring out these pre-cooked burgers. It's 4.85 ounces cooked, just to make sure I know exactly how much this is. So I'm just going to search cooked. 9. Yeah, like you can just be normal. I'm just, like the editor can cut.
That was normal for me.
I know that was normal. That was actually reserved.
Yeah, no, that was fine.
Off, you can take it
I
off.
just don't know if they're just hearing me munch.
Yeah,
munch,
yeah,
munch,
take it
munch.
off, take
We
it
should
off.
not cut it. I think it's great.
A munch?
Like me munching on my taco.
You want me to not cut the munch?
Yeah, keep the munch.
Oh my lord. Okay. So I'm going to do 0.85 ounces of 96.4 beef, which is crazy lean. Tastes really good. And I'm going to warm that up in the microwave for a minute or so. While that's warming up, I'm going to get my low-fat Kraft American cheese ready, because American cheese is the best tasting cheese for a burger. Low-fat cheese makes it lower calorie. Okay. Do you want to do it like right after this? I hope nobody didn't notice the bag of lettuce we have in our fridge.
Yeah, chopped lettuce.
Yeah, it is.
Saving money.
And we can eat more food. All right, now that the burgers are warm, put this American cheese on it. And just so you guys know, I want to make this taste dank. Do you use that word, dank? Have you ever used that word?
Like the Gen Z thing.
I'm not Gen Z. I'm a millennial. I'm a very young millennial. I'm the youngest possible. Yeah. No, my wife is 3 years older than me. This has gone horribly wrong. This is supposed to be professional. Oh my gosh, I don't care. It's fun. Anyway, the point was I stack the cheese on the burger so that it melts and I don't lose melted cheese on the plate. Because I'm eating the calories and I'm tracking. I want to get it all. Anyway, that in for 15 seconds or so. And then I'm going to put it on a normal Martin's potato bun, just a normal burger bun. Most smaller-ish burger buns are going to work great. I'm going to put it in a little longer so it melts more. Sub 150 calories. There's really 2 categories of burger buns. There's 150 calories and under, which will be ones like this size. And then there's 220 calories and over, which are the big ones that I'd rather save the 100-something calories. All right, so this is so good. Oh my gosh. I wish we had onions. It's fine though. I'm good with one or the other. It's fine. If we don't have both, I'm good. Okay. Now, it's going to be stacked perfectly.
The cheese looks so good.
Look at this. It cannot, communicate the greatness of what's about to happen.
We got into it postpartum when we were fresh as a newborn.
When we just had a baby, us. Oh, by the way, if you didn't see what just happened right there, I just put on about 2 tablespoons of ketchup, and I didn't weigh it, and that's okay. Sometimes you forget to weigh stuff, but there's a certain amount of whoops. I forgot to weigh it. Let me eyeball to the best of my ability. That's okay. So I'm going to track that as 1 serving. 20 calories of ketchup because I've tracked ketchup like 9 billion times and I know that's probably less. Okay. So the paper plates, just to not do dishes, that's it. That's really it. Also doing sugar-free root beer. Tastes amazing. All right, see you guys in the next one. We're gonna start dessert. This is where I'm gonna break your guys' whole world when it comes to eating healthy and my baby's crying. Eating to stay lean and healthy. She's out of milk. She needs milk. This is gonna break your whole world. Just watch. Okay. Huh?
Can I add something?
Yeah.
So last week, I told my husband, we need a Ninja CREAMi. It's worth it.
They don't even know what it is yet.
I know, but it's this magical machine that everyone needs to buy. But okay, you can get to the point. Sometimes the wife is just right. So I was saying we need this machine, and Gabe was like, I don't know, do we really need that? But I trust you. He listened, and now he's obsessed with it. It's his toy more than mine now.
I'm obsessed, and it's awesome. By the way, forgot to mention, this is my second diet root beer. I've also had 2 Diet Cokes today. 0 calorie. My wife says, tell them what brand is best. A&W is better than Mug, but Mug's fine. All right, this is going to change everything for you. Okay, Ninja CREAMi. In this Ninja CREAMi is frozen Fairlife milk and water. 1 serving, which is 140 calories, 13 grams of protein. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. This is going to be some weird, high protein, low calorie recipe. Not weird. There's a lot of stuff like that you can do with the Ninja CREAMi. It's amazing. Some people put protein shakes in there with ice, and it's like this protein, high protein ice cream. I'm so good at hitting my protein goal, so insanely good, that when I get, and honestly part of it is I just really enjoy eating meat. So I don't make these super high protein desserts. I just hit my protein typically and use whatever calories I have left for dessert. So this Ninja CREAMi is going to come out to 604 calories. Okay, it's not super low by any means, but it's less than half of a Ben & Jerry's. And it's going to be like twice, it's going to be almost 2 pints full of ice cream. So it's insane. It's absolutely insane. You need to get one. The other thing I'm doing with this Ninja CREAMi is, you guys can see it here, I'm going to eat 7.5 Oreos, like literal real Oreo cookies. And I'm going to put them in my Ninja CREAMi. So it's going to be Fairlife milk plus a few other things I'll show you that I add in, and 7.5 Oreos. Yes, literally. And that's going to bring my day to 2,200 calories, 2,233 calories, 177 grams of protein. I literally have 267 grams of protein or calories left after my mega Oreo CREAMi that I'm going to use on something else I'll show you after this. Okay. So, transparently, this was somewhat of a lazy CREAMi prep because you can prep a bunch of other ingredients in the Ninja CREAMi before you freeze it. I'm sure that impacts the texture somehow. I don't really care that much. It's fine. It's going to be good. Other things I'm adding to this Ninja CREAMi are, let's see, here we go. I'm going to add cinnamon, just a bunch of cinnamon, no particular amount. I just like cinnamon, it's fine. I'm going to add this vanilla bean salt, which my wife found vanilla bean salt. I don't know what that is. It's just salt with vanilla bean, apparently. Add some of that. Sure, it's fine. My wife always tells me to add more salt. I'll just add a little bit more. That's fine. Okay. And then xanthan gum. This is actually one of the hack ingredients because xanthan gum is a thickening agent. Okay. This is one of the key ingredients that makes all of these crazy low calorie, high protein foods that you're seeing come onto the market. This is what makes something expand like crazy. It literally makes food expand is what it does. And so when you put xanthan gum in anything, it just expands it. It's crazy. So you put a really small amount. It's 2/16 of a tablespoon. It's like the tiniest amount ever. I'm using this tiny spoon and I just put like the tip of this tiny spoon in there. And you really don't want to overdo this because not only will it make whatever you're eating 5 times the size and start to taste like weird xanthan gum, what happens with xanthan gum is when it hits your stomach, it also expands everything that's in your stomach. So that sounds insane, but it is insane. You okay, Liv? You want this? What's the problem? I know that sounds insane. It is insane. That's why I use a little bit, because we get the same effect. You okay? Okay. Basil. We get the same effect in a controlled way. It's going to expand this by 30 to 50%-ish. Honestly, maybe 100%. It's probably going to be double this size. It's crazy. And then it's going to expand what we put in our stomach, everything else that's in our stomach. So we're going to feel, this is, again, the way I'm saying it is going to sound insane, but this is what you want when you're in a deficit, because one of the reasons people can't sustain their deficit is they get hungry. It's not the only reason. It's not the foundation of the reason. And no amount of fullness is going to heal the wounds that trigger you to overeat emotionally, even when you're not hungry. Okay, so this doesn't solve the foundation of the issue, but it does make the practical side much easier. So when you eat these ice creams with a little bit of xanthan gum in there, you'll have, again, you can make the ice cream however many calories you want. You can make this 180 calories and still have this huge thing of ice cream. I'm making it 600 calories because I have the calories and I really enjoy the sweet flavor. So mine's gonna be 600 calories. But I made one the other day that was like 800 calories. And I made one the other day before that was like 300 calories. You can do whatever you want as long as it fits your calories and protein. The point is, when you eat something like this, you're gonna feel so full that you're gonna be sitting there on the couch eating it being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm eating this. Oh my gosh, I'm so full. You're not going to be hungry. It's incredible. So let's do that. We're also gonna add 2 milliliters of fat-free milk now, because I probably should have added that first, but 2 tablespoons, I should say, teaspoons. We'll do 3 teaspoons. And then, there's a few other ingredients I forgot to add. This is what happens when you don't prep ahead of time. I just threw the milk in the freezer thing with some water because I was trying to do it fast this morning. Dude, we need pudding. Chocolate pudding, baby. Do we have chocolate pudding anywhere else, or is it just the new ones, babe? Do we have chocolate pudding anywhere else, or is it just these? Perfecto. Forgot to mention a key ingredient is this sugar-free pudding mix, which makes it thick and flavorful. So this is sugar-free Jell-O pudding mix, and 1 serving is 10 grams. Nice. We're gonna do some vanilla extract as well. Then what you do is you take this thing, put your CREAMi in there. Just give it a little pre-mix just because it looks like it needs it. You guys can tell I got this down to a science. My wife over there making some protein balls or something, cookie dough balls.
How do you adjust it? I'm making protein chocolate chip cookie dough balls to put inside my ice cream. Don't put
And the baby is giving it a try beforehand. This is just real life, honestly. Sometimes it's not perfect and it doesn't matter. Just figure it out. Okay, cool. Shove it in this machine. So now that crazy thing is gonna mix for 4 minutes and ice cream is gonna come out the other side. It's gonna be insane. You have no idea. I'll show you the finished product. All right, we're back because the CREAMi's first cycle is done. Oh my gosh, it already looks so freaking good. Look at that. That right there, even without the about 500 calories of Oreos I'm about to mix in here, is already so delicious. Cinnamon, xanthan gum, Fairlife milk, water, vanilla extract. Oh my gosh, chocolate pudding. And if you had to, or you wanted to, make a CREAMi that was sub 300 calories, like you're good. This is already so good. Oh, I added a ton of cinnamon. A ton. Like a lot of cinnamon with this chocolate. Oh my gosh. Already so good. So good. If I only had the 300-ish calories left, I'd be perfectly happy. But I don't, because I absolutely crushed the rest of the day. Absolutely crushed it. So I have 6 wait, is it? Hold on. 7.5 Oreos. It's 394 calories worth of Oreos, normal Oreos, that I'm going to put in here. And Oreo chocolate is my favorite flavor by far with ice cream. So I've just done this pretty much every day that we've made these. Break them up a little bit. That's 2. Don't want to lose track of these. 3. 7 Oreos, 7.5 Oreos are going in here. 4. Just so you guys see, it's actually going in there, okay? I experimented with, because I like sweet, and let me just count these first. 4. That's 4, 5, 6, 7.5. Because I really enjoy sweet flavors, and I typically, if I'm going to do a dessert, I typically have something sweet. I just prefer it. I experimented with putting literal sugar in these CREAMi's, like a controlled, measured amount of brown sugar, and that was really good if you like sweet. But what I found is, if I just cut the calories from the sugar and put more Oreos in, I get the sweetness plus the chunkiness. It's just crazy. So maybe I'll keep mixing these in here. I'll leave one out just to make it look pretty when we put it on top. That's fine though. And then we remix it. I'll get it. I totally forgot that I have 60 calories of low-fat whipped cream to add to this that I'm adding right now. 27 grams. Okay, that's good. I'm going to crumble this to make it look pretty over the top. Look at that. This thing is huge. This is 2 pints of ice cream here. Whoa, Bella. So, this isn't even my last meal of the day. I have popcorn after this. But I'm going to eat this entire thing. And my daughter's going to have some too, because she loves it. And then we'll see you tomorrow. All right, I just had to show this. This is my 250-ish calories of popcorn. It's just plain kernels popped. Salt on top. Absolutely insane. Wow. That was good. Okay. All right, so Tuesday morning, breakfast time. We are about to go train jiu-jitsu, and we want carbs. We want carbs before the workout. I'm going to show you guys what this is going to be. I'm also going for speed because it's 5:08 a.m. and hilarious life happens, right? Just life stuff happens. I left my car at the gym because my wife and I drove separate to the gym, and then we took the same car to church on Sunday, and then we left my car at the gym. It's now Tuesday. My car's been at the gym since Sunday. So I'm going to take my wife's car to the gym to get my mouth guard, which is in my car, so I don't bust my teeth, and then go to jiu-jitsu. So we're going super speed today, not to mention filming myself eating adds time. And what we're going to do is, you guys are going to like this, I'll just show you here. This is going to take us to just about 500-ish calories, 466, 30 grams of protein. It's honestly not even that high carb. It just tastes amazing here. I'll make them and show you guys. Okay, so you guys are going to think I'm absolutely crazy here, but again, I want high carbs, I want fast digesting carbs for this training session, so I'm going to do, there's only 5 pancakes left in the package. My wife must have eaten one of the little baggies, which is hilarious. But I'm going to do 5 pancakes, serving of PB Fit, 25 grams of honey, 20 grams of brown sugar, because I love brown sugar. It's so delicious. It's one of my favorite flavors. So, just so you guys see how I actually make sure this is done, I got my pancakes here, right here. And just to do this all in one, what I'm going to do is we are going to put in our 1 serving of PB Fit, 16 grams. We're going to do the 20 grams of brown sugar. Guys, this is real. This is not like for the video. This is the type of stuff I eat every single day. I promise you I would not be coming up with random recipes for a video over the course of a week. Just imagine the bandwidth of filming everything you eat for a week. Happy to do it, but
It's not the most fun thing in the world to do. But this is real, guys. Let's see here. Okay, 20. That's 19 grams. That's fine. I can sacrifice a gram. This is what happens when I'm optimizing for speed. Put some cinnamon in there. No calories. Thank you, Lord. I decided to switch last minute my honey for this pure Canadian maple syrup from one of my longtime clients, Matt Hollins, who is a farmer up in Canada. Thank you, Matt. You're freaking awesome. I love you, dude. So we need to go maple syrup. Let's do 4 teaspoons. Yeah, 4 teaspoons is good. It's going to be so good. Awesome. I'm going to have to mix this around because I'm just making it all into one mix. So I've got my powdered peanut butter, my maple syrup. I've got my brown sugar. I'm making a little bit of a mess. It's fine. I'll figure it out later. And cinnamon. Guys, this is too good to be true. But it's also not. You just need to know what to do. A little bit of water. I don't want to make it too watery and be sad if I ruin it. This one, I would say, we're definitely maxing out taste. Speed a little bit. I could have made a faster breakfast, to be honest. Let's be real. We're maxing out taste for this one. And we've got our, I almost forgot to add this just because this turned into a maxing out taste breakfast, and sometimes it does. But we're going to add our vanilla bean salt that my wife got. Because why not? Because it looks good. This is just crazy. I don't even want to tell you how good this concoction is going to taste. Super high carb meal here. Got 33 grams of protein for 570 calories. Not the ratio you want to shoot for in most of your meals. But high carb breakfast here for pre-training. I am all about it. Now, 5:19, okay. Just gotta make sure I'm not too late on time here, but I've got 10 minutes. This is wild. Man, that should not be allowed, but it is. Because awesomeness. You guys really thought I was exaggerating when I said love sweet? I do. This is so good. What? Absolutely crazy. The funny thing is, for all the people, hopefully it's not you. No offense if it is, it's fine. But for all the people who are like, oh, carbs are bad, right? You have to cut sugar, right? You've seen me eat lots of sugar within the course of the last day. But literally, my pancakes here with that crazy brown butter maple syrup sugar thing, cinnamon layered in here. Again, 570 calories, 33 grams of protein. Hopefully you're picking up on the fact that this is a high carb pre-workout meal, pre-training meal. You want quick digesting carbs pre-training. And this has already been mentioned, but none of this is prescriptive. This is all documentation of how I meet my calorie and protein goals. Ideation for you guys, inspiration. I think my baby's waking up. She usually wakes up at around this time, and I give her some more milk and she stays asleep. Just some more insight on pre-workout meals. Pre-workout meals like this are less necessary when you've just started the deficit. We still have lots of excess energy, still have excess body fat, but when you're at these leaner body weights or deeper in a deficit, it becomes more necessary. You're eating less total calories throughout the day, so the timing of those carbohydrates starts to matter a bit more. And you want to keep them, again, 30 minutes to an hour and a half before training is ideal. I haven't decided if I'm going to eat a post-training meal yet or lunch.
All right, so we are back in the kitchen, lunchtime, day 2. This is a fun one because I honestly didn't know how I would feel after that relatively high calorie, higher carb pre-workout meal before jiu-jitsu this morning. I was kind of having some thoughts around, that wasn't the highest volume. It was pretty dense, so it wasn't very filling. I had a little bit of this thought process of, oh man, I'm probably gonna feel kind of hungry. It wasn't the most filling meal. And then I had a little bit of this thought process around, it was almost 600 calories for the meal. That puts a dent in my 2,500 calorie goal for the day. How's the rest of the day gonna go? And so I came back from jiu-jitsu thinking my hunger is probably gonna be really up, lower volume food, really intense training, but I actually didn't feel hungry. There's a little bit, but it was fine. I actually didn't have a post-workout, post-training meal. I didn't have like another breakfast after that early morning pre-workout meal. I think a big part of that was the protein in that pre-workout meal, because food volume, like the size of the food taking up in your stomach, isn't the only thing that creates satiety. Protein being detected in the gut also creates a ton of satiety. And this one did have 33 grams of protein, which I wouldn't consider the meal high protein, since it was only 33 grams of protein for 570 calories. But 30 grams of protein in the morning, that's going to keep you full for some time. That's almost like just having a protein shake. So for lunch, I have no idea what I'm doing yet. And the reality is sometimes that happens. Sometimes we've got stuff prepped. I know exactly what I'm eating, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But also sometimes I come downstairs and I'm like, what the heck am I eating? Let's figure it out. Let's have some fun. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the fridge here and kind of talk through like what we've got. I don't know exactly what we have prepped. There's some weeks and some days where we've got so much prep. There's like 20 Tupperwares in here. But today I don't think that's the case. I've got some really lean 98.2 ground chicken that my wife has prepped. I know she kind of wants that for her meals though. So I think this is about 2 ounces of top sirloin steak here today. And then we've got this ground beef that looks like it's on its last leg. So honestly, this is a little bit sad, but it's okay. Sometimes things just happen. And benefit of designing your life in a way in which you have freedom to take care of what's important. I'm just gonna cook that ground beef quick. These pickles are gonna be so freaking good. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited actually now. Do I wanna do burgers? Oh my gosh, that'd be so good. Man, I'm battling right now between doing burgers, which would be faster, easier, and doing like a wrap. I think I'm gonna do burgers today for lunch, and we'll do a wrap for dinner, because I want to keep dinner a little bit lower calorie. I'm having another Ninja Creamy ice cream for dinner, just like last night. For dessert, just like last night. I literally am doing that. I do that as many nights as I possibly can. Sometimes every single night. Some weeks every single night. This steak it's gotta go. Anyway, this is not the ideal prep situation, but sometimes it happens, and it kind of is what it is. Just make it work. So, maybe show a little bit more of the actual cooking here. If you didn't notice, yesterday, during a lot of the meals, was kind of taking care of the baby a little bit. I like to grab the baby from our nanny sometimes when I come downstairs and cook lunch, just to hang off my daughter a bit. So, what am I doing? Why do I have that? I don't need that. I'm gonna do this. So I didn't talk much in some of those first meals and kind of explain a lot of the thinking process. So I'll do a little bit more of that now and kind of from here on out as well. Most important thing is getting this weighed, seasoned, and ready to go. I'm actually gonna heat up a pan. I also typically do these on the grill, but I kind of just feel like doing it on a pan today, partially to change it up, partially because I am filming and I don't really want to run back and forth from outside and inside. So let's light this up, get that nice and hot, get pretty high there. And man, the sad part about burgers is I like burgers so much. The sad part about doing lean ground beef burgers is I like them so much, and they're so high protein, so low calorie when you do them the right way, that like I get too far ahead on my protein goal, and I'm like almost at my protein goal by dinner, and I'm like, dang, I wish I could eat. I'd rather eat more meat, but I'm really being strict about staying at or under my protein goal at this point in the deficit, because carbs matter so much for your performance, and I'm really training intensely right now. I'm competing in Jiu-Jitsu in about 3 months, so I'm maximizing the carbs. Like, if it was just my preference, I'd eat more meat. I'd go over my protein goal. I'd eat 200 plus grams of protein a day, because I just love meat so much. I love meat. So that's not happening right now, but that's okay. Might as well just cook this one up too. This is 2.8. Okay, that's fine. Just to have it ready. I'm gonna go ahead, and this is 7 ounces. I think what I'll do is I'll smash this into two 7-ounce patties, or two 3.5-ounce patties. And this is 96.4 lean ground beef, guys. That is kind of a big hitter ingredient. I've gone the seasons where I'm like, the lean ground beef doesn't matter much. 85-15, whatever. No, I'm not dogmatic about almost anything when it comes to what you're eating. I've got the rules of, make sure it fits your calories and protein, get in your basic micronutrients, and you're good, right? But some things are just so dumb, so unintelligent that it's just not worth doing. Like you're only losing. One of those examples of something that's so dumb that you should just never do it, kind of like how yesterday I said there's no reason to ever drink whole milk if you want to lose fat and gain muscle. Not that you can't, but it's just such a bad decision. It's just so unadvantageous. One of those is fat ground beef. Anything fatter than 93.7. Maybe you can argue 90-10, because if you look at normal fat ground beef, which is going to be 80-20 or 85-15, whatever it is, or fatter, the calories are almost double lean ground beef, and the protein is almost half. It's not quite half the protein, double the calories, but it's close. Like, it's not far from double the calories, half the protein, just going from 93.7 to 85-15 or 80-20. Put some black pepper on these. So it's just like, okay, double the calories, half the protein. Maybe you can argue that 85-15 tastes 2% better than 93.7, but not worth it. It's just literally dumb to do that. Anyway, so this is an example of that. And you guys are gonna see how juicy. I showed you one last night. We're doing burgers again. Juicy burger again. Burger for dinner. Burgers for lunch. Yeah, baby. Okay, so I'll set up whatever. Now, here's something I've been putting on all my meat lately. Been burning through this. Italian seasoning. Oh my gosh, this stuff's so good. I put the Italian seasoning on my burgers, on my pizzas, which we haven't gone over a pizza yet, but I'll do a pizza at some point this week for sure. Or pizzas. I just douse this thing in seasoning. Beautiful. This is one of those meals where I know it so well, and I know where I'm at in the day so well, that I don't necessarily need to track it before I eat it. I know 7 ounces of meat plus the 1 bun I'll do, plus the 2 fat-free cheeses I'll do, or low-fat cheeses I'll do. I know that's going to be perfect. So, again, it's probably ideal just from a hunger signaling standpoint, being objective to track before, but it's okay, not the end of the world. This is kind of a classic winner for me. I'll track it after. All right, turn this bad boy on. Okay, so we've got that. Steak is just being sad over here. Hopefully it gets eaten, but whatever. I'll have some fun with this. And we don't need to be too weird about making food boring. If I really wanted to optimize for speed, I would just keep it meat, cheese, and bun. I'm gonna use the same reduced fat Kraft single cheeses as I did yesterday. I don't think we have onion. That's so sad. Oh my gosh. I have no idea how long it's gonna take. A few minutes. Same bun. If I wanna go crazy, I can toast the bun. Oh my gosh, wow. Yeah, let's do that. We'll toast the bun, that's fine. If you're like food, health is freaking out right now because you saw me put raw meat on this parchment paper, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. It's who I am. Oh, that looks a little too hot. It's fine, whatever, don't care. Okay, I'm actually gonna start tracking this because I'm gonna get some ingredients going. So we have 7 ounces of the 94.6. Here we go. So that beef itself is 40.2 grams of protein, 245 calories, 96. I'm just gonna show you what. Let's look up 80-20, because that's pretty normal. Oh my God. 7 ounces of 80-20, 53 grams of protein, 539 calories, close to double the calories, just from going from 94.6 to 85.15. Not worth it. Oh, gosh, should literally be illegal, but it's fine. Still in that cook, we're gonna do the Kraft reduced fat cheese, 2 slices, Martin's potato bun, 130 calories. All right, so far the burger is 465 calories, 56 grams of protein. For the entire burger, meat, cheese, bun, less calories and more protein than just the meat would have been if it was 80-20. So have just meat or have an entire burger, up to you. Those look good. Actually, it kind of looks hot, but as you can tell, there's some things I'm ruthless about, like tracking my food. Some things I'm not particular about, like being a chef. I just cook the food, whatever. Okay, log more. Let's add more, because I want more. I'm gonna do 6. Yeah, let's do 6, whatever. These are Mount Olive old-fashioned sweet bread and butter chips. Wow. So I made a mistake with these pickles. Usually pickles are like 5 calories for like a big pickle, but I got these sweet pickles that are infused with sugar, and I was like, oh dang, 30 calories for 6 little chips. What? Whoops. Anyways, I'm still gonna eat them because it doesn't matter. And I'll track them. And they taste better. They do taste better. Can't pretend they don't. But the other ones are great too. So we got ourselves a little treat. 6 pickle chips. Do I want 6 on my burger? Realistically, no, I want 4. So we'll snack beforehand. Let's look at these burgers. Yeah, I made the pan way too hot, but it's fine. Put this away. Clean up as you go. As a good wife will teach you. Okay, cool. We're gonna do more. We're gonna do a serving of ketchup. We're gonna do mustard. Mustard's no calories. Serving of ketchup, it's gonna be 20 calories. You can do sugar-free ketchup if you just want to save some calories. It's one of those things where you're not gonna notice the difference. It's definitely fine, but also it's 20 calories for a serving, so it's up to you. Sometimes I do sugar-free, sometimes I do full sugar. Whatever. Again, doesn't matter. Just track it. What else? Should we put, oh, wait. No, I don't think that'll taste good. Hold on. Oh, dang. I'm honestly distraught that we don't have onions. My Lord. Honestly, just utter sadness. But it's fine. Okay, let's look at what we're working with for the day. We are at 1,000 calories, 90 grams of protein. We've got 1,400 calories left. We need to hit like 80 grams of protein-ish. I want to do. I realistically want another 600-ish calorie ice cream tonight, just being honest. But there's no possible way because I'm almost done with the Oreo. What would I put in it? I could put a bunch of chocolate chips. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give myself 600-ish calories for ice cream. It's probably ready to put this cheese on here. I think that should be good, hopefully, but I'm not sure, honestly. I have no idea if these burgers are like ready to go, but I'm just gonna put the cheese on because, again, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Should be good. Let's be like actual chefs here for a sec. And I was gonna put a pan on it to help melt the cheese, but whatever. Who cares? Let's actually do this though. Let's be adults. Let's toast our bun. And let's save this little extra burger. This little guy. Somebody will eat this one day, hopefully. Put this on low. Probably put a pan on that, huh? I do want to save about 600 calories for ice cream, like I mentioned. 1,400 minus 600. Put me at like 800 for dinner. What would I have for 800 calories of dinner though? That's the only problem. Man, it's a good problem to have when you're trying to figure out like how do I eat enough, you know? Do a huge wrap for dinner. Do I want it? No, I just don't, whatever. I can do a huge wrap for dinner. I can throw avocado in there to up the calories if I really want. I've got a lot and amazingly low calorie, high protein. It's not the most filling. It's not like yesterday's wrap. So I'm not expecting to have zero hunger throughout the rest of the afternoon. I'm not expecting to starve because of the protein, but I'm not expecting to have zero hunger. I could make a much higher volume meal, even though this is still pretty high volume, to be honest, for 400 calories. 400 and whatever calories. It could be more filling, but I might just do some afternoon snacks and show you guys what I'd snack on if I was feeling snacky. Pickles, yeah, just keep the pickles on there for today. This pickle's not gonna fit. Mustard, however much I want. Bella, hi Bellevue. Come here, Belle. What's up, Mama? Come on. Oh my gosh, I love you forever. Burger, you want some? Catch up, because I don't care. This is crazy, guys. Look at this. This is my lunch. Again, I'll probably be hungry for something else before dinner time, but this is what we're doing. What's up, beautiful girl? I just had the best idea for making this more filling. I'll show you. Oh, it's so good. I'm doing this partially because I want to give you guys the example, but also because I genuinely would just prefer to not be hungrier than I need to be. So I'm actually gonna make this way more filling by making one of my secret burger bowls as fast as I can, as quickly as I can. I'll show you guys how it's done. It's pretty easy. You take a burger. Ideally, I mean, you don't even have to, cook the full burger like that, but this just came to me. Yes, Bella, yes. And we're going to, this is how it's done, guys. Again, whole goal here is I had a concern that this wouldn't be filling enough. We're gonna do 30, we'll do a little bit more. 40 grams of lettuce, normal lettuce. Track that after. This is where we can get really, really, really crazy. Do we have any? We're gonna do like actually half an avocado-ish, and this is gonna make it taste really good too. Not even half though. All right, Bella, I want to not chop your fingers off, so please be very careful. Oh, careful, careful, careful. Oh, careful. Hopefully someone doesn't try to sue me because I cut an avocado with a baby in my hand. That would suck. But it's fine. We're not actually gonna do half because avocados can actually get pretty calorie dense. I just don't need it. My wife bought me this. Hold on. This is crazy. Never before seen avocado slicer. Bella, I love you to death. Lord, hold on. Black belt dad mode activation. Here we go. Stay right there. I love you. Stay. Chopping the avocado. I can give you some if you want. Careful, love. My wife would not be happy if she saw this. 20 grams. We're gonna do a little bit more. You're okay. You're okay. Yes. Yep. Yep. If you guys can't tell, by the way, I hang on my baby. That's 30 grams of avocado plus a little piece that just went to my mouth. So 31. Put the avocado there. My baby's still here. She's still alive. Let's go. Crushing it, guys. Absolutely crushing it. All right, baby is going to show us the salt container. One more thing. No, I can't. I love you. Tomato. Tomato. Apparently this is gross if you don't wash it. That's what they say. You guys can tell this is really, really well thought out. This is not a very thought out meal. You can think them out more. You can prep better than I did for today, but that's okay. I'm testing this theory. I've been married for 1.5 years or so, almost 2 years. My wife handles like 80% of the prep, and then sometimes I jump in there. But I'm testing this game where I just don't do any of it and see, just like she just takes it, and it's working pretty well. But today we could have had more prep, but it's fine. Let me know what you guys think about that. That's not marriage advice, but maybe it's nutrition advice. Chop this up a bit more. Yes, Belle, yes. Okay. So we had 31 grams of avocado, 40 grams of lettuce, 40, 31. This is gonna be like 5 calories. Great. 81, 30, 40, 31, 81. Mix this all up. And again, the main goal, by far with this is just fullness. I'm erring on the side of I want to be more full. Can I make it through a day where I'm not the most full? Of course. Is it probably unnecessary? Yes. Would the unnecessary difficulty make it more likely that I have a negative experience in the future? Yes. So I've got the opportunity. I'm gonna opt for fullness. Boom. Let's go. This is a burger bowl. Sometimes, see the bread still in there? I just added basically a bunch more low-calorie veggies, other than the avocado. That's just mainly for taste. But this is gonna taste really good. Be really close to as satisfying as a burger, but more filling. All just games to play, things to consider as you hit your calorie and protein goals. Really good. Let's smell. Testing. All right, we're back for dinner. Baby's asleep, so we're being super quiet. But we are doing 6 tacos on low calorie carb counter mini tortillas. We're gonna do 2.8 ounces of that 96.4 ground beef we cooked earlier, 2.5 ounces of cooked top sirloin. We're actually gonna add 100 grams of rice to these tacos. We've got part skim mozzarella cheese, which is basically low fat cheese, reduced fat cheese, normal avocado, veggies, and it's gonna be awesome. Okay, so we've got tortillas with some basil on them just for fun. We're gonna do this looks good, doesn't it?
Looks so good.
You want some, don't you? My favorite thing in the world is when you get to make your wife jealous for how good your food looks. She had a taco too, but one really big taco and not 6 mini ones. Carb counter tortillas. We're just gonna go ahead and do our best to evenly spread this out. I'm gonna attempt to make them look pretty. If there's anything that's slightly unrealistic about this entire video, is that there's probably a slightly bigger commitment to aesthetics to make it look appetizing for you guys, and probably more normal days where I don't care as much, but that's okay. Another thing I noticed today after my lunch, if you couldn't tell, there's a little bit of uncertainty on the fullness. I made a burger, and at the last minute I turned it into a burger salad because I felt like I'd be relatively hungry. And I was very much correct in that assessment. I definitely started to feel some hunger come on towards the end of the afternoon. And what's interesting was, on a typical day, I tend to have some kind of snack to help kind of stave that hunger over. I was planning on having some kind of snack and showing you guys what I would have as a snack, maybe a rice cake or something like that, something low calorie, really filling. But I was just so locked into work that I just worked through the hunger, and it wasn't that big of a deal. But kind of key insight there is, as you've probably noticed, today I've optimized quite a bit for taste. I'm optimizing for taste again by budgeting about 500 calories for my Ninja CREAMi ice cream, which you guys will see after this. But I've optimized quite a bit for taste. And again, there's levers you can pull. You can optimize more for taste. You can optimize more for speed. You can optimize more for fullness. You can turn those dials up and down at any level, of course. Some meals knock it all out of the park. Something like this is going to be really good on taste and fullness. Not quite on speed, but it's okay. But anyways, I'm turning the taste dial up really far. And I'm happy with that. But sacrificing a bit of fullness. So I definitely felt the hunger today. And it's okay to oscillate. There's going to be some days, some meals, where you want to go all in on taste. If you want to make one of those juicy, melty burgers, you know it's not going to keep you as full as something like a salad or a wrap in a salad, but it is what it is. You make that trade. There's going to be other days where you're hungry. You're physically hungry, not craving certain foods, not feeling like you're needing to go to food for comfort, but just hungry. Your stomach is physically empty or close to empty. and your body fat levels are lower, and so your brain is signaling that there's a potential energy deficit, and it wants you to make up for that by eating more food. And so you make some of those trades, and that's okay. It's not about eating in a way in which you never experience struggle, never have moments where you require discipline, or you're never hungry, literally never hungry. It's impossible. But the question is, okay, how do you respond to that? Obviously in the moment, from a mindset standpoint, but then strategically with what you eat next, how are you going to make up for that hunger? How are you going to prevent unnecessary levels of hunger from setting in? So I've got the avocado there. This looks like it's going to be too much tomato, but we'll see what we can do here. I just love tomatoes so much. So another really kind of key factor in the hunger towards the end of the afternoon was I had that higher calorie breakfast. It's about 500 calories, close to 600 calories if I remember correctly, of mainly carbs with about 30 grams of protein. Again, on that breakfast, I opted for taste, but also the effectiveness of having pre-workout carbs. Training jiu-jitsu really intensely, competing soon, I was willing to make that trade. I knew I was having a lower volume, faster digesting, higher carb, higher calorie breakfast. That tasted awesome. Optimizing for that pre-workout fuel, knowing that it was going to mean less calories, towards the end of the day. And I made that trade, and it was worth it today because I really value the training. On a non-training day, I wouldn't do that. On a non-training day, I might have a sub 300 calorie breakfast with 35 to 50 grams of protein. I wouldn't make that trade on a non-training day because I wouldn't need to prioritize pre-workout carbs. So again, all these different factors obviously play into what you're eating and why, and that's that. Okay, these are already looking big, babe. These need a picture. Look at this. Put some taco seasoning on here too, just a bit. Don't over season it. It's already pre-seasoned. Some more basil just because I can. I don't know if this is going to make it taste any better, but it looks good. Interesting thing, actually. A huge part of what signals a leptin release, which is the fullness hormone, is how good the food looks visually, like the visual appearance. Your body, through your eyes, your brain recognizing that it's full of nutrients and looks appetizing, makes you start to feel full before you even eat the food. So eating, or how the food looks, is part of the satisfaction. It's part of the eating experience. So when you can, if you can make food look tasty to you or nutritious, it's going to factor in how satisfied you feel after that meal. It's actually kind of funny. My wife likes to keep the lights off when the baby's asleep in the kitchen to make it less likely that she wakes up.
And after 6 p.m.
And after 6 p.m. so that we can start going to sleep. She wants the dim lights, yes, no blue light, red lights only. But I really like looking at what I'm eating. And I know, I was just explaining how, seeing what you're eating is part of the satisfaction. When your brain recognizes the nutrients, it signals that leptin release. I like looking at what I'm eating. It's part of the enjoyment. It's, wow, look at this amazing food I'm eating. Literally, I don't know if, hopefully this will focus here. I don't want to spill the tacos. That's the struggle. But it's important. That's not going to be a make or break factor, but that is a factor. If you're really wanting to maximize the enjoyment of the food, the satisfaction of the meal, okay, can I make it look great? And let me make sure that I'm seeing that and enjoying it. So that is dinner, and today's dinner came out to 712 calories, 68 grams of protein. 712 calories, 68 grams of protein for 6 mini tacos that are stuffed. The funny thing is half the stuff's going to spill out and I have to eat it with a fork. I see, this is an actual real decision I made today. I wouldn't typically put rice in the tacos. I'll typically, it's 100 and something calories for 100 grams of rice. 130 calories. I'd typically save that for dessert and have
like an extra 2 or 3 Oreos in my Ninja CREAMi. But I knew today I'd had, a few days of optimizing for taste, and I was feeling hungry. So I was like, I'd rather have the higher volume than the, 2 extra Oreos in my Ninja CREAMi, because I've already budgeted for 0.98 Oreos, 2 Oreos in my Ninja CREAMi. Doing a hilarious attempt at attempting to remain quiet while the baby sleeps and we eat Ninja CREAMi. And here is 8 ounces of Fairlife milk, xanthan gum as the expander, and 30 calories of sugar-free pudding mix. Literally 2 pints of ice cream and 70 calories right here. This is 170 calories. Ice cream every single day. And it's so good. I'm gonna taste it. I taste it like this every single day before I put in the mix-ins, just because I want to know. I want to know what's up. What? My wife also said she put a pump of sugar-free chocolate syrup and cinnamon. So this is ridiculous. I don't understand. 170 calories. Crazy. Now, I have 616 calories for this CREAMi. 616. Tracked it ahead of time. We're going to be adding 2 Oreos. Somewhat stale Oreos, but it's fine. I got another pack of Oreos today. These are CREAMi. Then we're going to do 2 servings of Lily's chocolate chips. Lily's chocolate chips are these semi-sweet baking chips that are made with some other ingredient that makes them slightly lower calorie. 2 servings is going to be 28 grams. It's a lot of chocolate chips. 2 servings. It looks insane. And 1 serving of PB Fit. I'm actually going to keep this one relatively liquidy. 16 grams. We've got honey. 5 grams. So let's just make a little 35 grams of honey. That's going to make this really sweet. And I, like you guys probably can already tell, I love sweet. Sweet is my favorite. And then we have, I think, 2 servings of whipped cream. Either way, we're going to put this on the mix-in setting. Whoops. Okay. Last but not least, we have 3 servings of reduced fat Cool Whip, which is 27 grams. Surprisingly, milk, I'm doing it again. 27 grams. Oh my gosh, what? I don't understand how. 615 calories, are you kidding me? Something I'm learning about the CREAMi life is a lot of people make these really high protein CREAMi recipes, and that's fine, that's great, there's nothing wrong with that. Where they'll put, a protein shake or a scoop of whey protein powder in the CREAMi. Again, that's amazing. But what I've found is that I hit my protein goal generally right under the protein goal before I have the CREAMi. And allows me to have more kind of mix-ins, carby type stuff, in the CREAMi versus using up a lot of those calories on protein, which is okay. Again, it's up to you how you want to do it. But I end up hitting my protein goal through meat and the other foods I eat throughout the day, mainly. And then, the milk, the kind of extra is obviously in the CREAMi. Oh man, this looks really good. Chocolate chips, peanut butter, Oreos. Definitely one of the best ones I've had. I don't really know what's different. Something is though, and it's really, really good. Yeah, something I noticed with a lot of the CREAMi recipes is they're super high protein. And again, while that's great, that's amazing, I suspect that one of the reasons people really like those recipes is actually because they're not tracking their calories or their protein. And so anything that seems high protein or anything that's labeled high protein, people default to thinking, oh, it must be good, it must be healthy, it must be impossible to overeat, which is going to really help. If something's high protein, low calorie, 100%. You guys have been seeing how I've been eating 80% of my meals at this 10 to 1 calorie or protein ratio. That's something that we teach. That's something you should absolutely aim for. But I suspect that most people aren't tracking. And so I suspect that they're still going over their calories on the day, even if they're having these high protein
creamy recipes. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's high protein if you overeat your calories. So this is just so good. I can't even create it. I know it's different. My wife put more xanthan gum than I usually do. A little fluffier, a little thicker. I'm going to keep putting more xanthan. Honestly, not the biggest fan of the chocolate chips. They're great. They're chocolate chips. It's hard to make that bad. But I think I'd rather have more Oreos, to be honest. I was also kind of contemplating if there's any other kind of mix-in I'd like for between 160 to 600 calories. And I was looking at some low sugar cookies. See if I can get more cookie per calorie. But even the cookies that are made with no sugar, you tend to find that they're made with some other kind of carbohydrate. And you're still getting basically the same amount of cookie for the same amount of calories as an Oreo, even if it says no sugar. If somebody has like a actual low-calorie cookie out there that's crunchy, let me know. I haven't found it yet. I've been okay without it. The question really is, has it been worth it to save about 600, 700 calories for a CREAMi every night? The answer is I keep doing it. So it's based on my actions worth it. I could definitely be eating more food, staying a bit fuller throughout the day without eating this. But, you know, there's something about having something that's so enjoyable that you can look forward to that just makes it worth it. The interesting thing about sustaining your fat loss, sustaining your nutrition in the first place is one of the biggest factors, one of the biggest frames to look through is we're able to sustain suffering when we're aware of the reward on the other end of it, when we're aware of the upside benefit. That's why we're able to start businesses. We take on risk, we invest, go through periods of pain and struggle, but we know the upside. We don't know literally what the upside is going to be, but we know it's going to be big. We know it's going to be worth it. Same thing with our fitness. We go to the gym, we go through struggle, we go through pain in the gym, and we make it through because we know the upside. We don't literally know what it's going to be. This is new kind of revelation on this that I feel like I'm understanding now, but we literally don't know what our muscles are going to look like, but we know it's going to be worth it. With sustaining the nutrition, it's the same thing. If there's no perceived reward, or the perceived reward is too small, it won't be worth it to us and you'll stop. So that can be in an acute sense, as in, I don't see a perceived reward of what I'm going to be eating today. It's all going to be disgusting and bland. Then we'll stop. In the long term, it's if I don't fully understand the reward, like everything that God is truly going to do through my physical stewardship, through me stewarding my body well, I'll stop. But when the reward perception is so high, it's like Caleb being aware of the promised land, of the inheritance that God promised him. He was willing to fight war because of it. He endured and stayed strong till the age of 85 because of it. He actually says he was as strong as 85 as he was when he was 45, physically. He knew the reward. Same thing with David, by the way. We all know the story of David and Goliath. If you read the story itself, you'll see that right before David kills Goliath, the king announces that whoever kills Goliath will get to marry the king's daughter, will become rich, will be given riches, and his family will be exempt from taxes. And David hears this announcement, and he asks again, almost like, what? Whoever kills this guy gets what? You'll see, you have to look at the story. The phrasing is very interesting. He almost like doubles down. He's like, the guy who, say that again, say that one more time. And there's also this idea that somebody repeating something twice made in front of witnesses made it a legal agreement or something like that in Hebrew culture, which I'm not exactly sure on that specific point. But the point is, David knew what the rewards were for himself, for him, self-interest rewards. He also knew the rewards for his people because it was clear that if Goliath wasn't killed, the Hebrew people would have been enslaved, the Philistines would have been their rulers, and vice versa. So the rewards were so clear. You know, we think through how could he take such action and faith
The rewards were so clear. They were so large, so abundant. A life of riches promised to him, even though there was struggle, in between that moment, in between the promise and the deliverance of that promise, which is how life is. And the king's daughter, no taxes. And your people aren't slaves. They get to rule your oppressors. That's awesome. Let's do it, right? Here's the other thing, though. David didn't just know the potential reward. He knew it was guaranteed. He didn't just know the potential reward. He knew it was guaranteed. Because he knew that God could not be defeated. He knew that nobody could defy the armies of the living God. He knew God. And so when he had that, not just, I'm so sorry, I've done a bad thing. I haven't reminded her of the Ninja CREAMi. He didn't just have the reward. He had the certainty. So it's not just about what are the potential benefits to staying on track, to getting in shape, to being fit, and increasing that awareness of the rewards, which they are abundant. It's operating from a place of complete and utter certainty that if God made you a promise, it will not fall void. If God gave you a vision, it will not tarry. It will not delay.
Back here for breakfast. It's Wednesday morning. We do not have training this morning. Going to be training end of day today. So don't need to prioritize any kind of pre-workout carbs or anything like that. I'm going to show you guys what is my fastest breakfast. I wonder if my wife moved. Yep. Okay. I'll show you guys what's my fastest breakfast. When you really just want to optimize for speed, fullness, starting to work towards that protein goal, it is a protein shake. And my entire protein shake recipe is going to be 8 ounces of Fairlife milk. I do chocolate because I love chocolate. 140 calories, 13 grams of protein, 1 scoop of whey protein. Like I said on Monday, I'm somewhat experimenting with the creatine dose right now. At least 5 grams a day. We didn't take any yesterday, so we'll lean on the heavier-ish side. We'll do like 11.5 grams of creatine. As you guys can tell, there are certain things that are just not worth micro-optimizing for and overthinking. And really the experiment I'm kind of running is more than 5 grams of creatine a day going to have a tangible impact on me. Now, how you test that when there's so many other variables in life, like your recovery from workouts, your sleep, how far in the deficit you are, how much your new body fat levels are impacting your hunger in the short term before your brain resensitizes to that level of energy that's stored, your stress levels, like everything. There's so many different things that impact how you feel and how you perform. It's very difficult to actually isolate a variable and say, well, I started taking 10 grams a day and my life changed forever, right? But nonetheless, we're taking a little bit more than 5. Caffeine. See you guys on the next one. 886 calories, 70 grams of protein. Lunch. 886 calories, 78 grams of protein, 7 ounces of 98.2 ground chicken, which is insanely lean, 200 grams of rice, which is a lot, 28 grams of part skin mozzarella, and then a big old salad with like 40 calories of veggies, plus those 30 calories of pickled chips that are sweet, 40 grams of avocado, and 4 milliliters of olive oil, 4 milliliters of balsamic vinaigrette. Honestly, what I'm gonna do for this one is, I know this is gonna taste good, so I'm just gonna mix it all together. And this is crazy high volume. Like, this is an entire Tupperware food. There's also sprouts in here, which are crazy high volume broccoli sprouts. Mix it all together. An entire Tupperware food for about 800 calories, a little over 800 calories, almost 80 grams of protein. I'm also, because we're relatively low on carbs for the day and I've got to work out later, I want to have some more carbs before that workout. I'm going to be mixing in 40 grams of honey, which is a lot of honey. You guys are going to see how awesome this is. It's a very low fat meal, super high volume, and delicious. What's up, love? Here we go. What's up, baby? We are a 2 food scale family, if you haven't picked up on that, because we're constantly weighing our stuff. Baby girl. You want another pickled chip, don't you? Here you go. How's this? There you go. Okay. 40 grams of honey. And we're gonna throw in some hot sauce. Not too much. Just a bit. Mix that around even more. And this is what we got. And just look at this. Do a 1,500 calorie McDonald's meal. Not much protein. That doesn't fill you up. Makes you feel like crap. We're gonna do this. Oh my gosh, it tastes so good. Officially decided not having Ninja CREAMi tonight. I've had like 6 nights in a row. It's kind of boring last night, to be honest. But we'll get that itch again at some point. See you next one. Also, just grabbed a chocolate rice cake. 60 calories. Just one before I went back up to work. Really good. Really filling. Cake. Another rice cake. A little bit hungry. A little bit just prepping for training. All right, we are going to a movie. So we're going to pack 300 calories of self-popped popcorn with a bunch of salt into the movie bag. Don't mind that spilled steak juice. Diet Cokes, diet sodas we're bringing. We just break the rules, we don't care. Gains. So, we ate the popcorn, it was awesome. We didn't go to a movie. We decided to walk around Leaper's Fork, which is this like historic town in Middle Tennessee, to get our steps in instead of sitting in a movie theater. So, funny last minute decision. Have about 220 calories left. Dessert, rice cakes with honey, and a serving of the Lily's chocolate chips. We're gonna be back on the CREAMi tomorrow though, of course. See you for breakfast. Okay, day 4 breakfast. And we're gonna do yogurt and fruit, high protein yogurt and fruit, low calorie. This is a fun one to do every now and then. It's relatively lean and it's very filling, high on the filling meter. I know last night's meals were quick. We did the steak sandwich with the homemade sourdough bread, and then the snack was super quickly filmed. But the reason for that was because those were quick meals, and sometimes that's what happens. I was literally getting ready for date night, and our nanny brought over this homemade sourdough bread as a gift. And so I'm making my dinner, and part of me, wanted to be kind to our nanny and accept the gift and show that I was actually excited to eat it, but also it was like sourdough bread. That was really good. And so I switched it up really quick and made that steak sandwich, and it was really, really good. And then, as you also saw, prepared 300 calories worth of popcorn to go to the movies, but literally on the way to the movies, my wife and I decided to not go to the movies and instead go to this place called Leaper's Fork, which is like this historic, beautiful town in Tennessee, and just walk around and get steps in and talk and look at the views. And that was so great. So much better than sitting there for a movie, honestly. We got to connect, we got to get steps in, got to see beautiful scenery, and it was much needed. But I still ate the popcorn. We just ate the popcorn in the car. And then last night when I came home for that dessert, I was just tired, super tired. And, it was kind of like eyes getting closed as I finish off my calories for the day, but sometimes that's how it is. So that's why those videos were fast, because the meals were fast. And something I've definitely learned in the process of just filming this whole thing is it's 182 grams. I'm going to do like 270 to 300. Something I've learned is do 120 more. That it's required commitment for a week straight to film all of these meals, as you can imagine. You do 120, there you go. And there's been times where I didn't want to do it, times where I've been tired, times where things have been happening, date night, nanny being bred. And it's really, really helped me understand, like, this is what makes it difficult for people to stick to the nutrition in itself, right? At this point, all of this is, so ingrained in who I am that I don't even really have to think about it. I know I'm going to figure it out.
Obviously that's the goal, that's where you want to be. But filming myself eating every single meal, that's not ingrained in who I am. I've done things similar to this, but never for a whole week straight. And so realizing that friction, you know, it's exactly why people find it difficult to stick to the diet. The same way I've found it to be a challenge to, you know, just stick to filming myself eating. But at the end of the day, what has allowed me to continue to film myself, to stay on track with it so far, has been my commitment. So the decision that it's getting done no matter what. I'm going to put about 30 grams of honey-ish in here, by the way. Yeah, 30 is good. And it's my commitment to it no matter what. I'm just going to skip the fruit for now. I'm good with that. Check this out though. There's going to be about 28 grams of protein in this. Let's see here. I'm a bit low on battery, but what's kept me filming this, what's kept me committed, is obviously the decision. It's something I decided to do. I then announced it, so I made people aware of it at the beginning of the week. So now, you know, I have that external accountability. But also, I see how this aligns with my mission. I see how this aligns with what God's calling me to do and how I can serve His people and glorify Him. And that's the ultimate fuel. That's what energizes obedience and follow through. And that's the same in our fitness. When we see our physical stewardship as part of our God-given mission, as part of how we can serve the people He's called us to lead, then we have that supernatural energy and fuel to just keep going. Because it's not just about, you know, us, it's about glorifying God, it's about serving His people, which your fitness absolutely does. Your physical stewardship absolutely does so. Learning lesson there, and this is going to taste really, really good. Again, super simple, you can make just yogurt and honey. You don't have to put honey in, but I like the honey. See you guys on the next. Okay, super speed here, because I want it to be fast. White rice, lean steak, top round London broil, not top sirloin. Anything about. And then 60-ish calories of salad. That's going to be mixed in with this steak, rice, and low-fat cheese bowl. So much seasoning to make it taste good. No avocado in this one today. No olive oil. Mostly because I've got like 660 calories allocated towards a Ninja CREAMi tonight. And pizza tonight, which is going to be fun. So excited to show you guys the pizza, because we haven't seen that yet here in this freaking movie of a full week of eating. Babe, what are you eating?
I am eating a steak, avocado, basil, onion wrap. And on the side, I'm doing beet chips, which I should check in the oven and make sure they're not air frying too hard. And then a side of cucumber, tomato, basil salad with balsamic.
Yum, that sounds amazing. Thanks for sharing. All right, so it looks like big bowl of rice, lean meat, low-fat cheese, and salad. This is gonna keep me really full. I came out to, let's see here, 592 calories, 52 grams of protein. Pretty good. Nice one. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys something super awesome, because it's pizza, and pizza is awesome. Quick heads up, switched out a little bit of what was gonna go into my CREAMi. Had a pre-workout, 2 rice cakes for some carbs before I trained back in biceps, which was great. So these pizzas are gonna be sick. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 2 carb counter wraps. You know, 200 and, oh, these are actually lower calorie than I thought. So this is gonna be 180 calories. 2 low calorie wraps. Let's see here. Cool. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to heat these up in the oven for a few minutes, broil or just very high heat, so that they're not soggy when we actually go to make the pizzas. I don't overthink that, just throw them in for like a minute, put a minute timer on, should be fine. That's kind of how I think about that. Then my wife is awesome, she's already got all of the ingredients out, so I'm just gonna see if there's anything else I wanna add. I'm gonna add some cilantro to mine.
I'm gonna want some more onion, so I'm gonna cut another onion here. Okay, so we got our crusts. I'm gonna put them in for another minute there. They're honestly just not stiff enough yet, but that's okay. Obviously you don't need those circle pizza pans, we just got those like last week. That's what we want them looking like. This is crazy easy. We have pizza sauce. So I planned in 50 grams of pizza sauce, which is 12 calories. It's gonna be, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to use 50 grams. Okay, that was 50 grams right there. I was wrong. 100 grams of pizza sauce, which is like 24 calories. If you guys can't tell, being super quiet for baby. Next up, super easy. We're gonna do 60 grams of part skim mozzarella. That's 24. 68, that's 59. That's okay. That's 58, so we'll do, there we go, 60. Let's see, guys. Then we have 60 grams of turkey pep. Whoops. This is 24. Which means I have 35 left. Okay. 36 for anybody who caught that incorrect. Public math. These are your main ingredients. Carb counter, low-fat cheese, turkey pepperoni. These pizzas right now, one of them, so little calories. It's crazy. We're gonna add some stuff, 40-ish calories of veg, just for funsies. Obviously, you can do whatever you want when it comes to toppings. Probably didn't need the extra onion, but it's okay. If you're OCD right now about the mess, I think it's, I don't know, I rarely use this basil. I usually use like, it's fine, whatever. I don't know if you're supposed to cut that. Who cares? I'm a chef. If you're getting OCD about the mess, just clean it after. Who cares? Or clean it while it cooks. Speed, get it in the oven. I'm hungry. We're gonna do some cilantro. My wife might not agree with that statement, by the way, but it's okay. Here, just utter speed. It's probably fine. Yeah, let's go, baby. Okay. If you couldn't tell, I'm not tracking, I'm not weighing this basil, cilantro, onion. I know for a fact I'm at less than 100 calories of both. So I'll plug in like 50 to 60 calories of a veggie once I'm done here. Again, do I advise that for literally everything? No. But there's also certain things you want to take into account. We're going to do some basil leaves. Dry it. This is going to be very basil-y, I think. Garlic and onion powder. Be careful with this stuff. Probably totally unnecessary, but I like taste. Then we're going to go Italian seasoning. Oh my gosh, it's starting to look really good. Okay. Cannot forget red pepper flakes. Not too much. And these are going to go in the oven for 4 minutes. And then they're going to be done. Oh my God. Okay. Pizzas are ready. It's crazy fast. Like just, guys, it's just, oh, I'm so hungry. Okay. Look at this. I'm going to do one hand. Yeah, one's fine. Oh my, what in the world? Are you kidding me? That's just insane that even exists. Oh my God. Now, here's the thing. We're not done. I've got 20 grams of honey. I'm so good at eyeballing honey at this point. That was 9 grams. Wow, I'm the best at this. Okay, 10 more. That's probably, ooh, I'm going a little bit over there. No, that was 8. Just trust me, guys, do the honey. 20 grams of honey. Hot sauce, just a little bit. Doesn't need to be too spicy. Oh my Lord Jesus, help me. Look at these pizzas, guys. Absolutely insane. For both of these pizzas, 586 calories, 53 grams of protein.
Let's freaking go.
All right. We did it. We lasted 1 day without CREAMi. Just 1 day. Just kidding. It's just the best. It's honestly just the best. This is a cup of Fairlife chocolate, 3 teaspoons of Fairlife skim, xanthan gum, a bunch of cinnamon, vanilla bean salt. Guess how many Oreos? 9 Oreos. Yes, we budgeted 9 Oreos for this. Came out to 739 calories, 21 grams of protein. You know, it's not one of those recipes you find on Twitter. It's just 700 calories. And like twice the size of, 1,300 calorie Ben & Jerry's. There's something about the control option that gives you the win. Like, you can have awesome ice cream for anywhere from 200 to 800 calories, depending on, what's going on that day. Oh my gosh, so good. Honestly, had some cravings today. Some emotional cravings, not hunger, but emotional eating cravings. Experienced some stress, and I was like, oh, my brain wants a little bit of a comfort right now. So it's important to be able to distinguish between hunger and cravings. Hunger is your body signaling a need for energy. That happens when your stomach is empty or close to empty. That also happens when you have lower body fat levels than you've previously had, because your body fat is excess energy. Your brain recognizes that as stored energy. As the body fat levels go down, your hunger levels tend to increase. However, that sensitization resets. So don't worry, that doesn't last forever. You're not just perpetually hungry at a lower body fat percentage. You'll be hungry for a time, but if you stick it through, then your hunger levels will reset. It'll feel like normal. That's hunger. But cravings are when your brain's seeking food for comfort. That is emotional. There can be a lot of different triggers for that. That's where you need to turn to the Holy Spirit for comfort. And you can have cravings when you're sad. You can have cravings when good things happen because it didn't satisfy your soul the way that you actually needed. Stress eating is a part of craving, so it's important to be ready for both. Hunger and craving.
Okay, high carb breakfast, pre-jujitsu, 3 rice cakes, plus brown sugar, honey, cinnamon, and PB Fit powdered peanut butter. It's gonna feel great, great training session. Plus my mom is coming to visit for the weekend, so it'll be fun to document some meals that we eat as a family and how we kind of manage that. So that's it. See you in the next one.
All right. Jiu-jitsu was freaking crazy. Really glad I had that hard carb breakfast. I got the crap beat out of me. And it was a good time. Had some hard training. Super tight on time today, 8:14. I've got a group call at 8:30. So I want something fast. I want something high protein. Hunger levels are definitely there. They're present. They exist right now. So I'm going to do the old protein shake. And the tough part about the protein shake is when you don't have a bottle handy, you're like, dude, what is life? Anyway, okay, we're going to skip that. I don't know if the nanny put it somewhere. A little bit of a mess in here from life happening. Sometimes life happens and that's okay. Do 300 grams of the yogurt. Okay, still super fast. It's going to be a little bit more filling than a protein shake, let's be honest. And I want some more carbs. So, let's do the thing. Raw honey. We go through a lot of honey, if you can't tell. We'll do relatively light. We'll go 15 grams. That's it. Yogurt and honey. We're at 657 calories for the day. 42 grams of protein. So we can definitely be off to a hotter start in terms of calories and protein. But I'm okay with this. I know I wanted high carb for that training. And we'll be good. See you guys in the next one. All right, so lunchtime. We are at 657 calories for the day, 42 grams of protein from pre-jujitsu meal plus that quick breakfast. So just coming down. We've got some prepped chicken, thank God. What else we got here? Prepped steak. I'm gonna do steak. Let's go. And we're gonna do a rice bowl. We're gonna keep this one really speedy. We still have some chicken in there though. Interesting. I think I'm gonna do this. Man, I want that steak. I'm gonna do the steak. This is how we make decisions. This is like super speed mode. Oh man, it's been so fun filming this full week of eating. It's Friday officially, and it's just been wild learning, just how much commitment it takes to do something, for a week straight that's not automatic, in there already, not a part of who you are already. Again, like as you guys are seeing, I'm second nature getting all these meals together. It's second nature for me and my wife to have stuff that's prepped and make sure we have some stuff that's prepped. And, even when things aren't perfect, obviously it's not perfect. And I don't have this tracked yet, but I know for a lunch like this, even if I don't have it tracked, 6-ish ounces is going to be good for me, my goals. But when something's not second nature, the point I was making earlier, it can be tough to stick to even for a week. But I'm sure if I decided I wanted to do this every single week, I could build it into my life. And ultimately, there just has to be alignment with what God's calling me to do. Like if God was calling me to film myself eating every single meal for the rest of my life, if that was really the conviction I got, which I don't think it's going to be, but if that was really for some reason the conviction I got, that was completely in alignment with who he created me to be and his will for my life, to the best of my knowledge, I'd have the will to do it. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people miss that impacts, guys who are just stuck in that rut of being super overweight and just way off. But even guys who are in okay shape and like, why would I get very fit? I mean, ultimately, man, if God's not calling you to do it, then as long as you're healthy, like, why are you doing it? You know what I mean? Like, but, and maybe that attitude maybe isn't the most appropriate. I think a more appropriate attitude might be like, how could God use it? How can it glorify God? Because the problem is most people can't and are not even testing the will of God. And Romans 12:2, it says, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Therefore, that you can test and approve of God's will, his pleasing and perfect will. People aren't asking God, what do you want me to do? People aren't looking in scripture and seeing God's character and seeing his design for us and how we're supposed to operate. People generally aren't even doing that. And so maybe asking that question to somebody who doesn't think through that lens like I do of like, hey, is God calling me to do it? Maybe that doesn't really resonate. Because the reality is like, if we're really asking like, Lord, is it better for me to be weak and unfit and less capable and less of an example of the fruit of discipline that you've placed within me? Is it better for me to be that, or is it better for me to be more fit and steward my body well and be an example to the people I'm called to lead? It'd be hard to say God wants you weak. I'm not saying that he wants everybody to be jacked 6% body fat, but before you can even answer that question of God, what do you want me to do? You need to be reading your Bible consistently. You need to be not conforming to patterns of this world, which if you're overeating, if you're in gluttony right now, you are conformed to a pattern of this world. You can't be transformed by the renewing of your mind if you're conformed to a pattern of the world. So there's definitely no one in the world that exists who should be gluttonous. There's definitely no one in the world that exists who should be overweight. That's not a thing. But most overweight people don't even think it's a problem. That's the problem. So ultimately, like, bring all this into your relationship with God. I say relationship with God, some people are going to be like, oh my gosh, your relationship with God, like, what do you mean? I mean, read the Bible, pray, live in obedience, and see what he asks you to do in regards to your health and fitness. Just I mean, and if you guys, you do that and you report back and you're like, Gabe, I'm just doing one serving of low-fat cheese here, 28 grams. And you're like, Gabe, God actually told me to be fat, stop working out. Dude, great. I'm not here to tell you to not do that, but I just can't see it. Just cannot see it. Another thing that's worth considering when it comes to this is not just mission and calling, but it's realizing this is something a lot of people don't consider. It's realizing that part of God's design for our life is pleasure, is that we experience pleasure. And now everyone's going to get pissed because we live in this stupid freaking society and culture that's like all pleasure is bad and unholy. But what you don't understand is that part of Jesus' nature is that he made decisions from a place of pleasure. He didn't do things he had to do. He did things he wanted to do. He didn't have to save us. He wanted to. He doesn't have to spend eternity with you. He wants you. The first chapter of Ephesians says that he chose you before the foundations of the earth for his pleasure. He wanted to spend eternity with you. How stupid would it be if he had to spend eternity with you? So some people might be thinking, Gabe, I don't have to be fit, do I? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But it's okay to want to be fit. It's okay to experience the goodness that God has for us here now. Not because this is what matters most. Eternity matters most. But we're built to do good works to glorify him so that other people can see his goodness. And so me, being fit, experiencing all the benefits of that, when people ask, like, Gabe, man, like, how do you stay on track? God, like, grace of God, man. That's it. It points to his goodness. It points to his goodness. But that's why we're designed to experience pleasure. Now, the enemy can pervert that, of course, like anything. He can use it for unwholesome things. But also, if it's part of God's design, God can use it for his goodness too. God can even use it, like, he can use what the enemy intended for evil and work it out for good. That's scriptural, right? I'm having trouble remembering the exact reference. Maybe you know it. Maybe you can Google it. It's like, dude, like, it's okay to experience good things. It's okay to experience pleasure. I think there's an entire season everybody needs to go through that I've gone through and I'm continue to go through in different ways where we learn how to suffer well, especially as Christians, because this isn't the prosperity gospel of, follow Jesus and everything's going to be good. You're going to be super jacked. That's all I'm saying. 60. I'm going to start tracking this actually because I don't want to have to carry the mental weight. So we did white rice, 100 grams. Did our steak, so 6 ounces. And our cheese, which is 28 grams. Let's do our onion, 68 grams. 27 calories of onion right there. Thank you. The point I was making is everybody needs to go through and continually go through learning how to suffer well. Okay? This is not prosperity gospel. Follow Jesus, you get super ripped, everything in your life is perfect, you never experience pain again. No. In fact, as you continue to experience God's goodness and accept all the good he has for you, there's probably going to be bigger challenges. Like, my life is not free of challenges. My life is not free of fitness challenges. My toe hurts right now. My neck hurts right now from jiu-jitsu. There's things that are challenging that you need to learn how to suffer through. Like, the gym is challenging. The gym is hard. Your workouts don't get easier. Maybe getting to the gym becomes more of a normal part of who you are, but it doesn't get easier. Workouts get harder. People are like, it gets easier. No, there's still challenges. But it's worth it. That's the point. So we need to learn how to suffer well. But, man, you hear sermons on Christian suffering. First off, most churches don't preach on Christian suffering. I'll say that. But then there are also some churches who preach on Christian suffering so much And you basically leave and you're like, oh, I guess life sucks. I guess there's no goodness. Just suck it up and suffer, forever. It's like, dude, that sounds horrible. The joy set before him. He endured the cross because of the joy set before him. Now, he was suffering simultaneously while looking forward to that joy. But there was joy set before him. He didn't suffer for the sucky life set before him. He didn't suffer just because he had to. It had to be that way, but he didn't have to. He's God. He chose to. Man, what are we doing here? Need some extra. Do tomatoes. That tomato's gone. So, don't forget that pleasure, experiencing pleasure, making decisions from a place of pleasure is part of the nature of Christ. He wanted us. The way he prays to the Father is not like, give me my people because I need them. And I just want them so much. And if I don't have them, my life sucks. No, he's like, I wanted them. Give them to me. I want them. I want to spend eternity with them. And that's good news. It's okay to want to be fit. It's okay to want the benefits of being fit. It's okay in submission to Christ to say, I want to get jacked. Why? I don't want to look like a bodybuilder, Gabe. First of all, you're not going to look like a bodybuilder unless you blast a bunch of gear, which that's not really, what this is for. I don't want to get jacked. Okay, why? Well, I don't need to. Well, do you need to build wealth? No, yeah, I need to. Well, no, you don't. The Bible says you don't need anything other than the clothes on your back and food. So do you need to build wealth? No. Why do you do it? You want to. You see the upside payoff, so you make the investment. You take the risks. You go through the seasons of suffering. It's the same thing here. Off a little bit here, guys, by the way, because I need to learn and relearn this. Even in my own fitness, I was having, I saw a transformation picture for one of my clients today. And let me show you guys this. It's crazy. His name is Chad, and he's a 40-something-year-old business owner in Dallas. And this is how he started, and this is where he's at now, 4 months later. So Chad, who's a business owner in Dallas, invested to work with us, which is a serious investment. While he was looking like this, he was like, Gabe, I really need to improve my discipline. I really need to dial in my nutrition. I'm going to food for comfort. I'm not stewarding my body well. He was saying that while looking like this. There's different standards here, guys. There's way different standards, and I think people really need to understand that Chad, who looked like what you couldn't imagine right now, you couldn't dream of, this is too jacked for you. He was taking a look in the mirror and humbly saying, God has called me to live at a higher standard. There's a higher standard that's in alignment with my God-given mission. That's the before. Now he looks like this. Business owner in Dallas, busy as ever can be. This is what I'm saying. Do you think he had to be more fit? No, he's at a healthy body fat percentage right there. He wanted to. And people are like, well, what's the benefit of having a little bit more muscle and being a bit leaner? You're missing the point entirely. The benefit is what Chad has gone through and what God has done in his heart through the process of further disciplining his body. 1 Peter 4:1. Therefore, since Christ suffered in the body, arm yourselves also with the same attitude, because whoever suffers in the body is done with sin. There is something about physical suffering. Don't even let me go there. There's something about physical suffering that empowers us to live by the Spirit. Jesus was crucified, and he defeated death after what? Physical suffering, after physical torture. They say that one of the most effective mind programming, brainwashing tools is to torture somebody right before you do it. That looks amazing. Right? When they're training people in the military, maybe in the military you'd know this a bit more specifically, so I'm not speaking on specifics, but what do they have them do? Intense physical suffering and repeat these mantras. Do 18, 19 grams of honey. Okay, check this out. We're also going to put hot sauce on this, by the way. Oh my Lord, let's freaking go. 609 calories, 60 grams of protein. People in the military, how do they train them? Intense physical suffering. And then they repeat these mantras. That is absolutely bypassing their conscious mind, getting embedded into the subconscious, and becoming part of who they are. That's the beauty of physical suffering. It's the beauty of all suffering. What you decide you believe in a state of physical suffering often sticks. In a state of any suffering often sticks. This is why it's so important to make sure you're aligned with Christ's narrative for your life when you're going through something hard, because that's where the enemy will want to come in, convince you you're someone you're not, convince you God's not as good as he says he is, convince you God's not faithful. And if you're suffering, you'll believe it. But at that same time, if in a state of suffering, you can look up and say, God, you're good. God, you've worked all things out for my good. God, you've taken care of me. You'll believe it. And that will change you forever. Jesus on the cross, let's get back to that point, had to endure an intense torture before the crucifixion. Why? The Bible tells us to live by the Spirit, not by the flesh, so that he can completely live by the Spirit. How was Jesus able to stay in that state that was somehow so perfect? And he did this his entire existence, of course, but specifically in this moment where he was able to defeat death, fully submitted to the Spirit, fully living by the Spirit. His flesh was destroyed. He was in such a state of intense physical suffering that living by the flesh was no longer, it wasn't an option. The body was done. The body was done. But what people do is they feed the flesh. They live by the flesh. They live, what do I want to eat? Oh gosh, it's going to taste so good. No, I can't have all those vegetables. Oh my gosh, I need the crappy crap. It's like, that is not how Jesus lived. That's not how. Anyway, I'm making the point simultaneously in this clip of why it's important to endure physical suffering. But the frame is because of the joy set before you, because of the positive payoff that's on the other side. That's how Jesus got through it. That's why Jesus got through it. So this is so freaking good. I love you guys. Hope you have a great one. See you on the next meal. I've made it. My mom's here. Say hi, Mom.
Hello.
And my daughter's here. And my wife's there eating her Ninja CREAMi ice cream. Show them the CREAMi. What? Show them the CREAMi.
This one's frozen yogurt.
You gotta bring it here.
Oh. Where's here?
Oh my God. Oh, how many calories?
Not a lot. I don't know, 150?
What?
180?
Oh my gosh.
Tempting.
Okay, so we did wraps for dinner, and mine's 538 calories. I actually don't have a low calorie wrap. I gave the last low calorie wrap to my mom so she could experience it. And I've got a normal wrap that's green. I don't know why it's green. It looks healthy, but it's not actually any healthier. And I've got a bunch of salad, about 100 calories-ish of salad. Huh, weird. And then about 5 ounces of lean meat. This is gonna be super filling. Literally my dinner is wrap with meat plus extra salad plus meat. And I'm doing a CREAMi after. Mom, is it good?
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
Ooh, the salad is very tasty.
Yeah. Okay, dessert Friday. We're tired. And we were almost too tired to like make this happen, but we made it happen. 639 calorie CREAMi today. I actually didn't mix it the night before, so it's not like ice cream texture, but it's kind of more like this interesting frozen yogurt type texture. 6 Oreos. Amazing. Very good. Not as good as the ice creams, but look at that amount of food. It's 2 pints for 639 calories. We're crushing. All right, if you made it this far, first off, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you learned something. Hope you gleaned something. If it wasn't clear in the video, this is actually something that I do professionally, where I serve Christian business owners in their physical stewardship, help them get leaner, help them get stronger. And, of course, a lot of that happens through some of what you saw today. But most importantly, that happens through the mindset shifts that take place based on scripture that end up changing the way we think and operate in this area of life. So if you watch this and you're a Christian business owner and you want direct help with not just implementing what you saw here, but having the fundamental shifts take place that help you align with what God is calling you to do in this area of life so that it can support everything else He's calling you into, then go ahead and use one of the links that I put below to see what it looks like to work with us. There's a page there with a video that breaks it all down. And if that makes sense, then you can apply. That'll take you to my personal calendar and we can chat one-on-one, see if it makes sense to work together and talk details from there. And yeah, hope that blesses you. Hope you have a great day. See you on the next video.